I went and got more charms. This one's a windmill.
Cool.
I'm basically Don Quixote. Tilting at windmills.
Mm.
Did I tell you there's a show on PBS called Don Quixote?
I think you did, actually.
Don Quixote. What else?
I don't know.
But, of course, as per usual, none of that is why we're here today.
No, it is not.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Courtney.
I'm Mallory.
Our show is called Our McWorld or something.
It's true. Today, we are back talking about Buffy again.
Yeah. I gotta pull up my notes.
Season 4.
I already forgot everything.
So, I don't remember how we did it last time. Well, I guess we kind of went through the episodes, and
Yeah.
which we have. Of course, we meet some new characters this time.
Yeah, I think sometimes you talk about the new characters.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go through the episodes.
Well, with lots of new characters. Well, we'll talk about the less important characters first.
Okay.
But still worthy of mentioning because we'll talk about them probably more in their episodes. So we got Buffy and Co. go to college. Season 4, go to college to Sunnydale University. Who knew Sunnydale had a university?
No, see, here's what I'm wanting to know, though. Oh, wait, we might get to this. Open!
So Buffy gets a college roommate named Kathy, who we can talk about. We also meet, pretty early on, a guy named Parker Abrams, who sucks.
Spoiler alert, he's the big bad.
Right? Might as well be.
It's up for debate, but I'm telling you, it's him.
And, I don't know. There's a few other random characters we can talk about later, but then we meet at least two pretty important characters for the show.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Riley Finn and Tara McClay, who become significant others of their main characters.
What?
What?
Yes.
And then there's a few other random ones we'll mention as we go further along. I mean, we meet Maggie Walsh, who is one of Buffy's professors, who ends up being important too.
Yeah.
So we can talk about that, but I guess we could start, if we want to start with
The episodes.
the episodes. The first one, The Freshman.
Yeah. Buffy fights a vampire gang.
They were trying to, steal stuff.
Yeah.
They would, kidnap college kids and steal their stuff. And kill them, I guess.
So, here's a note that I made from this episode. Did you have anything you wanted to say in particular about the episode? It does say Monster of the Week. But, just remember I said this. Also, spoiler alert for anything, obviously for Season 4. But, also spoiler alert because I know things happen. So this could be a spoiler alert for the rest of the show too.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm about to say is going to be spoiler alerts for the rest of the show. Xander in this episode, I think, said, "Once more with feeling," which I have learned is actually a recurring theme.
Yeah, I have written down once more with less feeling.
Yeah. But also in this episode, Buffy and Willow are going to buy books. Because, they're starting college. And Buffy said she hoped the price of books gave her mom a funny aneurysm. Just a little one. Not a big one or anything. But
Yeah.
Just keep that in your brain.
Interesting.
Like you would an aneurysm. That was a funny aneurysm joke. Anyway, aneurysm, not funny. But anyway, yeah, so Buffy said that in the first episode when they were shopping for books.
Yeah.
So then the next episode is the monster of the week is Kathy.
Yeah, Buffy was convinced her roommate was evil because she ironed her jeans.
Yeah.
But then turns out she actually was a demon.
Also, Buffy kills her in episode 2, so Kathy didn't last long.
She didn't have a roommate for very long, but Kathy is also in that game.
I know. That's how I knew who she was, because I was like, oh, when she turned up on the show, I thought, because I know certain things that are coming, but I don't know everything, and I certainly don't know how long people last and all that stuff. So I thought, oh, okay, well, Kathy's in the game, and I knew Buffy, I knew she was a demon, because she can be a demon in the game.
Mm.
And I've actually seen that episode at some point before.
Yeah.
But I thought it was way on down the road.
That she lasted.
Episode 2.
Yeah, she didn't last very long.
Nah.
Which that game came out in or right after season 4. Because it's only through season 4. But maybe that's why, even though she wasn't there for very long.
Also, Buffy's struggling with college. Shocker.
Yeah.
And it's impacting her slaying abilities. And also Kathy's toenails kept growing. Because Buffy had been collecting them. I think.
Determined.
To prove she was a demon.
Everybody was like...
Although I think everybody's nails keep growing. I don't like that.
Yeah.
But probably only if they're attached to your body, not if they're detached.
Yeah, I would think once they're detached, they don't grow anymore.
If you know anything about toenail growth post-cutting, let us know.
Something weird happened?
If you do know, don't let us know. Or else put your medical credentials. If you don't have medical credentials and somehow know why toenails keep growing, just don't weigh in. For all of us, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Okay, next episode, Spike is back. Was Spike gone?
Yes.
Spike was gone. Spike is back. Spike is looking for the gem of Amora.
Yeah, he left, he left at the end of season 2 and he came back for one episode in season 3.
Right.
And then I think the fans had reacted so well, they decided to bring him back as a... Well, I guess he really, at some point in season 4, officially joined the cast.
Mm.
Instead of just like a recurring role, he made the title credits and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was supposed to be kind of a, oh my gosh, which it was back then when nowadays they put, it's hard to be if you're watching DVDs or even if you're watching it online somewhere because they put who's in it. I hate when they do that when, you have a special surprise and you see their name pop up at the bottom.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the episode, it's like, James Marsters, that's Spike. I'm like, well, now people know he's in this episode.
Yeah.
But of course I was excited because I love Spike and I was glad to see him back. Even at the first go around watching it, I thought that was cool because I thought he was just a cool character. I mean, I wasn't, as the show, I think season 4 was the season originally that really made me like Spike.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought he was a good villain, but it was kind of like when he showed back up in season 4, he was funnier,
Yeah.
I guess, because of things that happened to him.
Yeah.
He had to be, but yeah. So anyway, yeah, Spike's back, but also dating Harmony.
Yeah.
Like Buffy said, would you lose a bet?
Also, he's kind of a jerk to her. And
He is
Harmony
mean to her.
says, why do I put up with you? And she kind of has a point, because even though I love Spike too, he is a jerk to Harmony. And, sometimes it's just like, Spike, be better, man.
Yeah, he was not nice to her, which, bless her heart, she was not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but
No.
I did think, I wouldn't put up with that if I were you, actually.
No.
Though I don't remember what episode it was. It may have been later in the season, but one of the best scenes of the whole season 4 was when Xander and Harmony got into a fight. got to that fight.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like
Yeah.
doing like this and pulling each other's hair and stuff.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite parts.
Poor Harmony.
I don't know if it was in that episode or not, but
I made a note that says, "Who is Parker? I thought this was about Riley." And then I put, Parker could be Xander's doppelganger. And then I put, Parker sucks. I wish Spike had killed him.
yeah, Parker's that guy at first you think's gonna be the new love interest, kinda.
Yeah.
But then he scums Buffy big time.
Yeah, and then I put that I like and hate how powerless Buffy is when men diss her. Because it's really frustrating. Because for so many seasons, I feel like when Buffy feels like, people don't love her, that she's invested something into, like Parker, because she slept with Parker, which was a big deal for her. It's like, then she's just like so down on herself, and I'm like, you're the freaking Slayer, girl. And I guess you can't just kill people for being assholes, but also, I want to be like, girl power! Don't get down about yourself. But then also I think it's okay to be down about yourself sometimes, even though you shouldn't be. But it's just natural, and it proves that Buffy's a real person.
Yeah, it's hard, I guess, not to, no matter what, if somebody hurts your feelings, not to be sad and kind of think, was it me?
Right.
Even though you want to be like, it's not you, it's them.
Yes.
Easier said than done, I guess, to let it go.
Was there anything else about the Gem of Amora you wanted to say?
They ended up, the whole thing with the gem was it makes a vampire invincible. So they can go out in the sun, they can't be staked. So, of course, Spike wanted it, and then, of course, Spike lost it.
Classic Spike.
And Buffy took it and sent it to Angel. But you know what? Because Buffy season 4 was the start of Angel season 1.
Yeah.
And I don't know whatever happened to that thing. I think he did get it. But I don't know what happened to it after that.
Yeah, because I thought he had it. I mean, I haven't watched Angel really at all, but I thought he had it for a little while and could go out in the sun and stuff. Yeah. But then I know in later seasons of Angel he never does.
Yeah, he didn't have it. So I don't know what happened to it. I haven't watched Angel.
Yeah.
In a very long time. Maybe I'll start watching Angel again. It's harder to get motivated to watch Angel because it's not as funny as Buffy. So it's very largely serious from what I remember about it. Until season 5 of Angel.
Maybe you would think it was funnier now that you're grown up.
Yeah, because it was a more adult show than Buffy. Because they were all adults. They wasn't about teenagers like Buffy was at first. So anyway, I might need to go watch it again now that I've rewatched Buffy again. Of course, I've rewatched Buffy a lot.
So then in my notes I put, Zack the Black Ranger.
The Power Ranger.
Yeah. Zack, the original Black Power Ranger, was on Buffy. I guess in the Gaknar episode or else the Gem of Amora episode, because Gaknar was the next monster of the week. And I put, Gaknar was way scarier when he wasn't free.
Oh, the fear. That was the fear demon. That was a good episode. I did like that episode a lot.
Yeah.
Of course, I like haunted houses and things. And Halloween is awesome. So I always like a good Halloween episode. And I thought that was an interesting take. Everybody being trapped in this house. And it's the first time, I think, that Anya dresses up like a bunny.
Yeah.
For Halloween. And they're like, I thought you were going to be scary. And she says...
Yeah. A bunny was the most terrifying thing she could think of. Yeah, because they go to this frat party thing. But Gaknar's making them do all their biggest fears. But then when he gets loose, he's like nothing.
He's like pissed off.
And they kill him easy.
Buffy like steps on him.
Yeah.
But I did really like that episode though.
Yeah. And the next episode is really good too. It was one of my favorites. It's called Bad Beer.
Beer bad.
Beer bad. Whatever.
Where they all turn into cavemen.
Yes.
Most people hate that episode.
Well, I thought it was funny.
Most people on the
Why?
interwebs. It gets one of the lowest. Every time people are talking about the shows, it always gets one of the lowest ratings.
Why?
Oh.
It had Cal Penn in it.
It did. I wrote that down, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I thought there's parts of it were funny.
Yeah, they all start drinking beer. It's kind of also. Here's what happens: if you drink beer, you might turn into a caveman.
No, you won't.
Also, then they set a fire by accident, and then they ended up saving Parker. Buffy did, I think.
Yeah.
Even though she
I don't know.
really seriously thought about not doing it.
Well,
But she did.
she was also a cave person.
At the time, she had sort of turned into a cave woman.
And I think, honestly, the reason Parker was unconscious may have been because she clonked him.
I think she did. So he deserved that, but I guess he didn't deserve to die just because he's a jerk. So she did save him.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny, though.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing nonsense.
Yes, they were.
Then the next monster of the week was Verruca.
Yes. This was kind of the start of some bummer for,
Very bummerific activity.
yeah. Because as you know, if you've seen our other videos, we love Oz.
Yes.
Oz is just the best.
Literally.
And in this episode, he runs into another werewolf. She is trying to get him to, I guess, embrace his inner wolf or something and be wilder and not be caged up, because he, of course, cages himself up on the full moon.
Yeah.
And Willow finds, Oz ends up getting her and making her stay in the cage with him one night. And then Willow comes in and finds them, like, naked together. And so she's all upset. And Oz was like, I was just trying to save people.
Yeah. Yeah, because Verruca doesn't really give a flitter. And, like, there are werewolf attacks going on and all of that stuff, and of course, then Oz starts thinking that he's somehow getting loose, even though he isn't. But
And I think Willow's a little jealous because I guess werewolves have, like, they can sense each other or something, and they have kind of a connection.
like animal magnetism.
Yeah. And so she doesn't like that Oz has that to Verruca, even though he's not doing it on purpose, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like he can't really resist.
Yeah. But he's trying to do the right thing, by keeping her with him. But this kind of starts sort of a downward trajectory for Willow and Oz.
Yeah. Also, I did think it was rich of Willow to be all jumping on Oz's case after everything she did with Xander, which was way worse in my opinion, because really when she's jumping down Oz's throat, like Mallory said, he ain't really done nothing.
Yeah, I mean, he just kind of, I don't know that anything really much happened with him and Verruca besides when they were werewolves, they were, like, fighting. I don't know if we were supposed to think that they, like, mated or something.
Yeah, I mean...
But they're wolves, and they're not really them when they're wolves. It's not like Twilight, where the wolves are still themselves. Like, inside their heads, they're still themselves.
Right.
And they can still talk and control themselves and stuff like that. It's like, they're just, like, out of control wolves on Buffy.
Yeah. Is it at the end of that episode? Or is it the next episode that Oz actually eventually just leaves?
I think it might be the next episode or so when I can't remember if it was at the end of that when he said he needed to take a break, but then Willow later on finds out that he has sent for all his stuff.
Yeah. Because I put Oz leaving was the saddest thing ever, and I cried for reals.
Yeah, I was very sad when Oz left. I put, oh no, Oz, frowny face.
Yes.
Well, also, I did put, this is kind of going back to that other episode, But this is something that people tend to do sometimes. Is why, when Spike got the gem, he told Buffy exactly what it did.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would you do that? I mean, I know Harmony was the one who said that they were looking for it.
Uh-huh.
But they didn't know that the gem was a ring.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, you got the gem? And he's like, yeah, I did. I'm like, why would you tell her what the gem is? Now she knows what to get away from you, bro.
He can't resist.
I feel like they have villains on TV do that all the time, where they like reveal things. I'm like, why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But, anyways, so yeah, Oz left, and that was very sad.
Then the next episode, the next monster of the week is The Initiative.
Yeah, the Initiative was a good episode. I liked it. But at the end, I don't know if it was at the end or the beginning. I think this was the episode where they already had Spike, right?
I don't know. So, of course, it's been a minute since I've watched it, and so now all I have are these janky notes, which would have been probably good. Here are my notes. Riley wants to court Buffy. Forrest is on Buffy? Well, I did not expect the professor to be in the group. Poor Spike can't perform.
Yeah.
So,
there you go. So basically, Spike, who now has failed at his original plan, has decided to stay in Sunnydale because now he's gonna decide that he's gonna come for Buffy again. Even though I don't know why he keeps doing that, because it never works. So he ends up getting captured by these soldier boys. Yeah, right. But so Buffy has seen these guys around, but they don't know what they're a part of, and neither do we. But we find out they're a part of a group called the Initiative, and they basically work for the army. They're like,
yeah, secret ops,
yeah,
special ops for demons,
who have this whole underground facility that they use they capture demons and basically like study them.
Yeah,
to try and figure out, I don't know,
probably how to weaponize them.
Yeah, honestly, because turns out they had a secret project going on the whole time. But we also find out that Riley is part of the Initiative, and his two friends, Forrest and Graham, are also part of it. And Professor Maggie Walsh is kind of their director. All shocking information we find out at some point.
Yeah, this is us.
Maybe not all in this episode, I can't remember. Possibly in this episode.
Yeah, I think most of it was. Then I put Harmony redecorating the lair and fighting Xander is hilarious.
Yeah. Well, that must have been when they got into a fight.
Must have been. And then I put, oh no, Spike is implanted.
Yeah, so the Initiative who captured Spike put a chip in his brain, so now he cannot hurt humans.
Yeah.
He can't intentionally cause harm to, well, at first they say any living thing, because they make some kind of joke about him not being able to pick flowers.
Yeah.
Which is not accurate, by the way. He really just can't hurt humans.
Yeah.
Intentionally. Which isn't important until later on in the show. But so basically he can't, we'll just say for arguments, he cannot hurt anyone.
Yeah.
And he thinks he can't hurt anything at all. And he gets real depressed.
Poor Spike. I also put, I feel like the Sunnydale co-eds are way too calm about commandos busting in their dorm and fighting. Because I'm pretty sure it's in that episode, I guess it's in that episode, where they get into this whole big thing. It may not be that one, but it happens multiple times actually, I think, in this season. Mm-hmm. Where the Initiative, either against Buffy or with her, fight in the dorm room halls and whatever. And everybody's just kind of like,
whatever.
But then they just go away. Like, they don't call 911 or like nothing else happens.
No one cares.
It's Sunnydale.
Yeah. But, so Spike ends up escaping from the Initiative. Hostile 17 is his name.
Yes.
That's what they call him. He escapes from the initiative, but then he realizes he can't hurt anybody. So he ends up turning to Buffy and her friends for help. And of course, at first they're like, "Why should we help you?"
Yeah.
And then he says, "Well, I can show you where their lab is, where their secret underground lab is." So then they decide to keep him around, but make him move in with Giles.
Yeah.
And then it's where Spike sort of, this is what I think when which I think a lot of the audience really liked Spike, and when he came back for season 3, which is why they brought him back. But I think in season 4 too is when a lot of people really saw a different side almost to him, because then of course he couldn't hurt anybody, so he was just kind of around cracking jokes at people all the time.
Yeah.
I did put a note in here that I feel like Spike gets Willow. Because, a lot of them, when Willow was all sad, they were like, "She's fine." And Spike was like, "Are y'all crazy?"
Yeah.
She's definitely not fine. And I guess really, I think Spike is good at reading people in general. Because he seems to pick up on things that other people are like, "Whatever." It's like he told Buffy and Angel in season 3. He's like, "You guys aren't friends."
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm not stupid," And the same thing here. He's like, "Willow's definitely not okay."
Yeah. Yeah, he is pretty good at that. And he, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. The only other thing I was going to say is that even though we know that Riley and them are in the initiative, Buffy and them still don't right now.
No, they don't.
So, then the next episode, Xander's penis got diseases from a shoe mouse trap.
Yes. There's a Thanksgiving episode where they accidentally released the spirit of some really angry Native Americans.
The Shumash.
Yeah. Who were of course, probably tortured and given disease and everything else by the settlers who came to the area.
Yeah.
So I guess they had a right to be upset.
Yeah.
But so anyway, they started attacking people. So now this episode was really funny.
Yes.
In parts. I especially liked the part where Spike was tied to the chair.
Mm-hmm.
And Buffy she was fighting with one and it turned into a bear. And he was like, "You made a bear!" And then he kept getting shot by arrows.
Yeah.
So next time you see him, he's sitting there in the chair with arrows stuck everywhere.
Yeah. Because Buffy's wanting to have the perfect little family Thanksgiving, and of course that doesn't work. Also, mainly because of poor planning on Buffy's part. She had no idea how to cook a Thanksgiving dinner.
No.
It wasn't ever going to be good whether they got into it with a demon or not.
Mm-mm. But also, Angel comes back in this episode. Because he has heard something. I don't even remember what he said now. There was a reason he came back. I think somebody had told him something, and so he came anyway to make sure everything was okay. And so he ends up seeing everybody but Buffy while he's there.
Yeah.
And he's kind of helping them fight and stuff, but she doesn't know he's there. And they're like, "Well, we're not going to tell her." And then at the end of the episode, Xander's like, "Well, it's cool. It's like old times with Angel being here."
Yeah.
And everybody else is like,
"Dude."
And then that was actually kind of a crossover with Angel, because she went then to Angel right after that for an actually very sad episode of Angel. But I remember that.
So then the next episode, Willow's wishes all come true, which is cray-crayness.
This is one of my favorite episodes of the whole show.
Yeah. In case you weren't aware, she loves this episode.
A ship was born officially.
Yeah.
It may have existed for some people, but I feel like not for most people. Most people didn't know that they wanted it until it was presented to us, even though it was in kind of a jokey way.
Yeah. So Willow's just whatever she says comes true. So Amy, she says something about Amy not being a rat. So Amy's not a rat for a second, even though, to be fair, Amy's a rat, whether she's a rodent or a human.
Yeah, right.
Amy's a rat. But then other things start coming true too, like Giles is blind, and most importantly, Buffy and Spike are madly in love with each other.
Buffy! Yeah, so she's like, cast this spell because she's trying to will her heart not to be broken.
Yeah.
But she ends up saying things like, you don't see anything, or you're a demon magnet. And which he doesn't mean, but when she says that, it becomes true. And so when she says, when Buffy has to go look for Spike because he's escaped, then she said, well, why doesn't she just go marry him?
Yeah.
And then they get engaged, and hilarity ensues while they're like sitting over here making out, and Giles is losing his vision, and Xander's getting attacked by demons. And
yeah. Because they just straight up start following Xander everywhere.
Yeah.
So that whole episode is just crazy sauce. And it is really hilarious. Which is good, because then the next episode is terrifying.
The next episode is also one of the best episodes of the whole show.
Yeah.
It's the only one that ever got nominated for an Emmy. It didn't win, but it got nominated.
Well, it got scummed, but it's super creepy. Because the gentlemen are coming.
Can't even shout. Can't even cry.
The gentlemen are coming by. Everybody loses all of their voices in the whole town because of the gentlemen coming.
Mm-hmm.
And the gentlemen are really freaking creepy regardless. So now, not only do they have to figure out how to defeat the gentlemen, they can't talk.
Yep. At the very beginning, I don't know, it was just a few minutes at the beginning. And then, of course, they take all the voices and the whole rest of the episode till the very, very end. There's no dialogue.
Yeah.
Just music. They have a really good soundtrack to that episode.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes it creepier that nobody can scream. Like when they get attacked, they're like, but you can't hear anything.
But what's the end goal? Like, what happens if they get their 7 hearts?
I really don't know. They didn't.
No.
Because Buffy stopped them and she ran into Riley as he was in his commando outfit.
Oh, dip. I have a note here that says, who is this lady sleeping with Giles? I don't know if that's in this episode or not.
Yeah, it is. She shows up a couple of times, but she's just kind of a random character, I guess.
Who's not super important.
Yeah. She was in at least one more. I think she was in the finale of this season, actually.
Also, Buffy and Riley kiss in this episode.
Oh, yeah. It's like the first time they kiss, I think.
Yeah.
Because they're talking, then they realize they got to have a talk at the end when they realize that they're both superheroes in a way.
Yeah. That is a creepy episode.
But it was really good. Yep.
So then the next one, the apocalypse is coming as per usual.
The Earth is definitely doomed.
Yeah. Spike tries to kill himself in Xander's terrible clothes.
Yeah.
I made a note about that. And then I said, who are these rando demons trying to open the Hellmouth?
Yeah, it's trying to open and everybody's like, what?
But, importantly, I think in this episode is, Spike realizes there are living things that he can hurt. Demons!
Demons. He can hurt demons. So then he decides that he's going to start helping the Scoobies because that's the only thing he can hurt is demons.
Yeah.
So he's like, let's go fight some evil at the end. Which was great. I also like the part, I think this was the episode where Riley sees Spike and he's like, don't I know you? And he like puts on this fake southern accent. He's like, no sir.
Yeah, he does. Not great. And then I guess this is when Tara and Willa... What?
Yes, so I guess in one of the episodes we meet Tara, and she's part... I don't know if it's in this episode, or if it was a previous episode we met her, but she's in Willow's Wicca group. But the two of them realize that the rest of the group, they don't really actually practice magic.
Yeah.
So Willow and Tara, in this episode, they run into each other when Tara's being chased by one of the creepy things in a straitjacket. And they actually do magic together, like they move this vending machine together with magic. So you realize that Tara is also a witch, because Willow's becoming more and more powerful.
Yeah. Then in the next episode, I think, Ethan Rain returns and turns Giles into a demon.
I happened to speak Fiarl. That's what, when Spike starts talking to him, and he's like, I'm speaking English, and he's like, no, you're speaking Fiarl.
Yeah. Yeah. I made a note that says, Giles and Spike are great together. I did also make a note, so Ethan turns Giles into a demon, but anyway. Then, of course, he's doing this whole thing, and they bust him while he's delivering this whole monologue, and he's like, and then he legitimately says, basically like, staying for the glamour is what gets me every time. I'm like, dude, quit monologuing.
Yeah.
Demons do that so much, or bad guys, really.
Mm.
What is wrong with you people? Then, the Initiative is the next villain again. And Riley has really started falling for Buffy, and importantly, he respects how awesome that she is, and how strong she is, and all that stuff, which later on down the road, he sometimes gets self-conscious about it, but right now he's like all in on how great Buffy is. And then the Initiative decides they need a killer.
Yeah, so Buffy has started helping the Initiative when they found out she was the Slayer. So they kind of had her working for him, but then Maggie decides, I don't know, that she's a liability or something. I don't know. So she sets up this whole thing to have Buffy killed, but of course it doesn't work. And Buffy comes out on top and realizes what happened. And then she tells Riley, who then is trying to like get out of the Initiative. And this is sort of the start of a storyline that doesn't quite get finished, that you kind of find out the Initiative's been giving them like
injecting them with super soldier serum.
And so if they don't get it, it's not good for them.
Yeah. They're basically slowly making Captain America's.
Yeah. That's why they're all so strong about can fight demons easily.
Yeah.
For humans.
But Riley walks out, and and good for him, because he has to be with Buffy.
And I will say, the first time around, I hated Riley.
Yeah.
This last time, I don't hate him as much now. Of course, I know
everything get it anyway.
But I think like a lot of people at the time, Angel had just left.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said, here's this other guy. And he was different. I guess he was supposed to be like Joe Normal, and then turns out he wasn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just didn't like him at all. A lot of people still don't. He's not, he's not beloved in the fandom.
Yeah, but anybody that's really paying attention ought to recognize that, in fact, Riley is the best boyfriend that Buffy ever had. Because,
that's probably true.
Despite the fact of some things that will happen later on down the road, his discretions are not nearly as bad as the other two major players.
No.
Angel and Spike.
No.
No offense to either one, except for also offense to either one of them. But Riley was in fact the best boyfriend, and I have been led astray for my whole entire life by somebody who told me that Riley was terrible, and really Riley is great.
He was just, I guess in comparison to Angel and then Spike, he's just kind of lame. I don't hate Riley anymore, but no. He's still not up there on my list, though. Even though technically he was probably the best guy Buffy ever dated.
He definitely was. I can tell you with certainty.
Oh.
So then, of course, because everything's going good with Buffy and all, Faith has to show up and wreck everything again.
Yeah, so Faith has kind of been in a coma this whole time since Buffy stabbed her. And she finally wakes up.
Yes.
Out for revenge. So she ends up getting her hands on this device that's a body switching device, as it turns out.
Yeah.
And ends up switching bodies with Buffy.
So what does she do? She sleeps with Buffy's boyfriend because that's Faith's MO.
Yeah. She just goes to sleep with everybody. She did try to sleep with Angel.
Yeah, I was really hoping that Spike would figure out that Faith was not Buffy.
Yeah, she went in there trying to, like, hitting on Spike kind of, and he was like,
yeah.
What's happening?
I was really hoping that Spike would be the one.
Yeah, to be like, I don't think, but even Riley didn't.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I knew Riley wasn't going to, but I was hoping that Spike would because Spike is normally like we were talking about earlier, he realizes stuff that other people don't. And maybe he just didn't want to.
Yeah, maybe at the time he was like, this is bizarre, and then,
yeah,
I don't know. But
also, I never understand how people don't realize that people are body swapped.
Yeah, most people are not that good at pretending to be somebody else.
No. And, like, especially when they start changing their appearance.
Do they dress different?
Yeah, because, like, Faith as Buffy was wearing, like, crop tops and curled her hair and stuff like that. Like, Faith dresses.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
Yeah, I don't know. It took people way too long to realize that... And I don't think they even really did until Buffy in Faith's body finally convinced them that she was Buffy. But I'm like, y'all, Buffy's been acting weird.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, those two episodes were good. I liked those two episodes when they switched bodies. But yeah, then Buffy, of course, was sad. But Faith did come around at the end when these vampires or whatever were trying to kill all these people. And she legitimately was like, because the whole time she was like, this is wrong. Like she was trying to. Mm-hmm. And then at the very end, she was like, this is wrong. Like she was finally said it in a way that was real instead of her trying
Buffy
to
imitation.
fake care about things.
Yeah.
Then she ends up leaving town and going to Los Angeles.
Where Angel is.
Because she was on Angel. For a little bit.
So then the next episode is all about Jonathan.
Superstar.
He's done everything of ever.
Yep.
And he's the best in the whole wide world. And the whole episode is so weird because you have no freaking clue what's going on because it just starts out and it's all about Jonathan. Like, the credits are all about Jonathan.
Yeah.
There's no explanation at all. I put here,
no.
What's with this Jonathan ep? Oh, he did it.
Yeah. So it's kind of takes you a minute to figure out that you're like, what's happening?
Yeah. So by the end of the episode, you come to find out that, like, basically Jonathan has cast this crazy spell or done some nonsense to where everyone thinks he's amazing.
Yeah.
And then they break it and, back to regular old Jonathan.
Yeah. Which I think when Demon started, like, hurting people, like, he never intended for anybody to get hurt. He was just trying to make himself,
Be great.
Be great.
Yeah.
Make people like him.
Yeah.
But,
So,
still.
the next Werewolves of the Week. I quit.
No.
The next Monsters of the Week are Prudish Teen Ghosts. That's what I put. Also, when I went to read Prudish Teen Ghosts, I saw werewolves, which is how I got to be Werewolves of the Week. But Prudish Teen Ghosts, because everybody in the whole of Sunnydale is having sex all the freaking time, especially Buffy and Riley. and why none of them are suspicious that something is awry when they live in a hellhole, literally, I never will know.
Yeah, that episode was fine.
Yeah. Then, werewolves are back, including Oz.
But it's too late.
Yeah.
Because as it turns out, we start on a whole new direction with Willow, because we find out that her and Tara aren't just friends, that they like each other, like they're into each other.
Yeah.
Although they don't kiss in this season. They don't kiss till season 5. But at the time, I think Joss Whedon kind of had to fight for anything with them, because this was sort of one of the first lesbian relationships on like mainstream TV, I think.
Yeah.
So people at the time were still kind of like, I don't think we want to let that. So they, season 4 didn't have a ton, but you could tell this where we're going with the show, even though I think there were some things the network wouldn't let them do at the time.
Yeah. So Oz comes back to town, and he's managed to figure out how to control the wolf so that he can overcome it with his mind. But it turns out the Initiative are demon bigots because they think all demons are the same, and including werewolves. But of course, eventually, good old boy Riley comes to the rescue and does rescue Oz but at first he's the same way.
Yeah.
But then he kind of comes around on it, and then, they kind of have to have some talks. But then Oz realizes that Willow's with Tara now, and he leaves again.
Yeah. And it's also sad, because at the time I still really loved Oz, so I was once again sad to see him go.
Me too. So,
still love Oz. To this day, I love Oz.
And then at some point, Buffy tells Riley about all the stuff and things. And then she goes to LA to visit Angel, and he's an ass apparently, and is harboring fate. So IDK, what the heck? Maybe I should watch Angel.
Yeah.
That's what I put in my notes.
Because Angel does come back, and then he's kind of being a jerk about Riley.
Yeah.
And Buffy's like, you were harboring a fugitive.
Yeah.
So she kind of, and of course Riley's getting all, he's trying to, when Angel comes back, of course, they're challenging each other, and they gotta
Big man.
strip their stuff. But
so then in the next episode we meet the second big bad of the season, Adam.
So the Initiative, Maggie Walsh, really, not all the Initiative knows about it. Riley and them didn't know. They've been working on this secret project. I think it was 314 or something like that.
Yeah.
Turns out they've been building a monster out of other monster parts.
Like you do.
Yeah. Whose name is Adam. And who is kind of creepy.
Yes.
And there's this whole scene where he goes out and is talking to this little boy. And then you don't actually see him kill the little boy, but then later you hear the little boy was killed. And then he talks about how he wanted to see his insides or something weird.
No good.
No. But they've given him like all the best parts of all these demons they've been studying.
Yeah.
So he was like this. Also, he was part machine. He's like part demon, part machine, part human. I don't know.
And then at first, they also have another obstacle to overcome, which is Spike running around sowing seeds of discord amongst the Scoobies, even though he ain't wrong, but he's telling everybody's secrets to everybody, so they all turn on each other, and then they can't really get together about fighting Adam because they're too mad at each other.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know how they don't ever figure out that it's Spike, because
It takes them a long time. Because it's so funny that they all believe what he says.
Even though they all hate him.
Because, yeah, they all hate him and everything. But he goes to all of them and is like, well, I guess that's why they said whatever about you. And they were like, oh my God, what?
Yeah.
Like, don't trust this Joker.
So, then eventually they repair their relationship and they come together and they have to do this crazy spell to where they get all of their best powers and give them to Buffy so that she can fight Adam, and they may or may not summon some psycho demon that may come into play later. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so, yeah, they basically do this. Adam was not one of my favorite villains. I mean,
yeah,
he wasn't around for a long time.
Yeah.
Really, Maggie was kind of, I don't know, they had a couple of villains in season 4. But, I don't know, not one of my favorites, but he was fine. They, got the power and took him out. So.
Then they have a dream episode.
Yeah, this episode is so weird, but I like it because it's so strange.
Yes.
Turns out they have somehow, whenever they did that spell, they kind of like, I don't know, I want to say summoned, but the first Slayer ended up back in the mix somehow. Mm-hmm. It started haunting all their dreams. So they all go to sleep, and we get to see like Willow, Xander, Giles, and Buffy's dreams. And in their dreams, like, they're so weird, but the first Slayer's trying to kill them. Mm-hmm. So like Willow is gonna be in a stage production of
Oklahoma.
Death of a Salesman.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And there's a cowboy.
Like from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And all throughout, there's a cheese man.
I wear the cheese. It does not wear me.
Yes.
That's never explained.
And then at one point, Terrace tells Buffy to get back before dawn.
Yeah, I wanted to mention too, in Buffy's dream, Faith is there and they're making a bed together, and she says, "We got to get ready for little sis."
Yeah.
And it's all these things you don't think about and won't think about this season.
Yeah.
That I thought,
Foreshadowing.
it, but we didn't know.
Yep.
But yeah, they went through all these. It was so weird. You know what else was funny in that episode when Spike and Giles are on the swing, and he's wearing that suit. It's almost the exact same suit he wears later on in season 6. In that episode where he's wearing that suit. It's almost the same suit. It looks like the same suit.
Maybe it is the same suit.
And also he says, he's like Giles says, Spike is like a son to me.
Oh, yeah.
Which is also funny because of that same episode later on. But yeah, so that was a weird episode, but it kind of ended the season on a you think you know what's to come, but you have no idea, which is something like that is actually said.
Yeah.
And Buffy doesn't. It's like almost like you don't know your power. You don't know.
Yeah.
There's more you have to learn, kind of thing. Let's looking through my notes if I have anything else. The other thing, I did think it was creepy one time. Like Walsh had all these cameras everywhere, and she was like watching Buffy and Riley in their bedroom.
Yeah.
It was really creepy.
Creep.
Also, Xander had so many different jobs this season.
Yeah, he did. He was a bartender, and he worked at like the corn dog hut or some nonsense, and
yeah, they had that food truck, or at least in the dream he was working in a food truck.
Yeah, because
also
Xander didn't go to college with the others.
No, I forgot. We didn't really talk about. I guess we talked about it in a second. I was looking. Let's see if there's anything else. The only thing I wrote down was, I used to wish I had some yummy sushi pajamas.
Oh,
Listen, if I could acquire some yummy sushi pajamas and it wasn't so hot, I'd wear them to DragonCon.
yeah.
People would get it.
What if you just had yummy sushi fabric and you can make whatever you want? You can have a yummy sushi dress.
That's true. That'd be cool. So
I like
otherwise,
sushi, but every time I eat like 80 of them, I always get sick.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. It
Well,
looks like an issue with the router and Echo device, so try restarting them. Unplug both of them, then plug the router back in. Wait 30 seconds. Once the router is back on and connected to the internet, plug in the Echo device.
we ain't even talking to you, creep.
nobody was talking to you anyway.
I love sushi, but I think I'm allergic because every time I eat like 80 of them, I always get sick.
What?
I don't eat sushi at all. That's just a quote from Andy Dwyer.
Right. The only other things I have. Oh, other characters, or another character we didn't mention the name of was D'Hoffryn,
Yeah,
who is Anya's old boss,
demon boss.
essentially, who comes to Willow and asks her if she wants to be a demon. And she says no. And he's like, all right. But he gives her his card, which is important. And then, that's the only other character besides Miss Kitty Fantastico, who is Willow and Tara's cat
Yes.
that they acquired. Let's see. I got some quotes. I have when Spike says, oh, this is just something Spike says, I'm only 126. Which I don't know how accurate the math is because later we see that I think he died in like 1880 or something.
Yeah, there's some flawed math on this show a couple times, I think.
And also I like when he said he always, I don't know if it was when he got captured by the Initiative and he thinks Buffy's responsible and he says, I always wondered what would have happened if that bitch got funding.
Right?
And pretty much all of Something Blue was a funny quote.
Yeah.
Like, Xander, can I be blind too?
Yeah. Yeah, Xander wanted to be blind because he couldn't deal with Spuffy.
They were making out and he was like,
He's not a Spuffy shipper.
well, also, speaking of ships, so this was really, like we said, kind of the birth of Spuffy, where the fans, I think, were really like, huh.
What?
Because they always hated each other so much that it was weird to see them. And even though it was like a funny thing, me at least, I was like, And then, but other ships though, of course Willow and Tara started becoming a thing, but Xander and Anya really became a thing. Because, you know, they kind of went, she kind of liked him in season 3, but he was like, whatever. So she just showed back up kind of randomly and was like, I like you. So let's be together. And so they just were.
And they were.
And it's weird because I guess I thought it seems like Anya her and Xander had been together longer, but really she wasn't in season 4 as much as I thought she was.
Yeah.
Going back and watching it. But they really became an official thing in season 4. I think that's really all and Buffy and Riley, of course, became a thing. So, that was it. Season 4.
Everything you've heard here before about Riley has been a lie.
Overall, I like this season pretty good. It had I think this season has some of my favorite episodes or some like the best episodes. Like Hush is one of the best episodes of the entire show.
Yeah.
Overall, though, like as far as the big bad and sort of that thing goes, it wasn't one of the better seasons for the overall story arc about,
No.
The Initiative and Adam and stuff.
And Parker. Because, see, really what happened with Parker, the big bad, is Buffy slept with him, which was really important to Buffy. But then, and he had been acting like, oh, we're together and we're going to be boyfriend, girlfriend kind of a deal. But then really that wasn't true. He just he was just hitting it and quitting it.
Yeah.
So, and then nobody even killed him the whole time.
Mm-mm. But he did get knocked unconscious that one time.
Yeah.
Maybe he got kicked out of school.
Let's hope.
Who knows? They survived their freshman year, I guess, of college. Willow and Buffy.
Barely.
Yeah.
Then they pretty much never go back, so. I feel like after this season, like, Buffy's hardly ever at college.
Yeah, season 5, they go to college a little bit. Willow goes more than Buffy does.
Yeah, like, Buffy ain't never at college anymore.
Yeah, season 4 was mainly the college year.
Yeah.
And then we sort of move on to other things, which Buffy has a lot going on in season 5, I guess. But.
Yeah.
So we'll get into season 5 in the next video.
Yep.
We got 3 more videos to go.
Yes.
So we'll do just stay tuned for more. And if you haven't seen the other ones, watch those. Go back and watch those.
Yeah. Alright, well, we'll see you later, I guess. Like and subscribe for stuff like this and stuff that's not like this.
Bye for now.
Goodbye.